Hey, what's up, folks? How are you doing? In case you don't know me, what is very likely, my name is Deep, and this is a Deep channel. Today, what I have for you is the story of how I lost my very first, technically the second because I already tried a nuzlocke before and closed the game right after being depressed for losing my first starter even before our first gym, so let's forget about that one. First nuzlocke experience in red and blue. Yay! Let's start the video by pointing it out that there are quite a few differences from the Gen 1 games to the rest of the franchise. The first of them is that there is no abilities, so basically Pokemons with the same typing are only differentiated by its stats and the moves that it can learn. Second is that special attack and special defense didn't exist yet. Both of them were instead just special, that acted both as a special attack and special defense for damage calculations. Third is that critical chance actually escalated with speed, meaning that faster Pokemons had actually better chance to score critical hits. And the fourth is that Steel types, Dark types, and Fairy types still didn't exist in the game, and Psychic types were still not weak to Ghost. So yeah, quite a few stuff were different back then. If I haven't played this game recently for different reasons, I would probably have lost way more Pokemons that I lost in this playthrough. And believe it, I lost a ton of them. But you might be asking yourself, Deep, oh Deep, why have you decided to play Red and Blue for your first Nuzlocke? This game is shit! And I will answer you with, I don't know. I just felt like my first Nuzlocke should be the first game of the franchise. Everything made sense for me, and I guess that's it. And now, before we start the actual video, let me introduce to you the set of rules that I'll be using for this run. First, I have the 3 standard rules, of course. I have to name every dog I catch, I can only catch the first dog that appears in each route, and when one of my dogs faints, I have to bury it deep down in the ground so it won't stink. I also added the dupes clause, and of course I'll be playing on set mode, like a fully grown adult should. Now for the other set of rules I added to put a little bit of a spice to the run, I have to battle all the available trainers before entering the Elite Four, and since I was not confident enough to ban healing items, I at least limited my uses to 2 healing items per battle, and later in the game I reduced it to 1 since I thought the game was not challenging me enough. And definitely for my future runs, I'll be banning them because they're so broken. Also, battle items was always banned from the start. And on top of that, I decided to use candies to level up because I'm really not into grinding, so I won't be over leveling my next challenge. But I went for a little twist on that. I will cap my levels not just to the next gym, but to the next important battle, like rival battles in Giovanni and even that worthless dojo in Saffron. And I did that because I decided that I had to use the same number of Pokemon of the next challenge I was facing, and use the Pokemons with the same level as my opponent too. For example, if I am about to face my rival and he has 2 level 10 Pokemons, I have to battle him with 2 level 10 Pokemons too. I thought this would be an interesting way to challenge myself, and if you don't know what a Nuzlocke is or simply didn't understand my rules just by how I explained, I'll leave a brief explanation and a written list for the rules I'll be using on this run at the description of this video. Just for the record, until about rereading there will be a black square blocking the left corner of the screen, so I'll substitute it for something pretty until it gets replaced by my incredibly drawn avatar. Hope you don't mind that for now, and let's go! The game started with me, waking up in the morning, feeling well rested and cozy, heading out the stairs to greet my mom and have a nice breakfast. Then I decided to go for a walk to appreciate the nature, you know? It's nice. But then, a man jumped out of the shadows, like he was waiting for me or something. And he was out of his mind, screaming and gasping like a psychopath, saying that I couldn't step on the grass, otherwise I would die. So he dragged me to his lab in front of the whole city and nobody seemed to care. There, he gave me a frog with a cabbage glued to its back, and made me use it against his grandson's lizard that was on fire. And that didn't went very well. After being harassed and humiliated, he told me I had to deliver a package to the city next to ours, or I would have to return my frog. And since I took the liking of the little aberration I've just received, I decided to attend this man's errand. I went there, picked the package, returned, was told to do another favor for this asshole, and went back to Viridian. There I bought a few Pokeballs, and finally my run has officially started. From now on, every fainted Pokemon is dead, and I really don't want to lose my little Gucci frog. Our first addition to the team was Rattata, which is a pretty damn good start. Rattata evolves very early on in the game, and it has stab on normal moves, which is great. I call him whatever. In our second encounter was a Spearow, and I was also very happy about it. Spearow have the only flying type move that deals damage early on in the game, so he would help me to go past Viridian Forest like a breeze. I couldn't ask for a better early game. I named him Pencil because of his peak. After that, what I did was to grind for my first challenge. A battle with Gary? So I mirrored the level of my Pokémons to be the same as his, and brought Sword and whatever to the fight. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you that I named Bulbasaur Best Call. But anyways, my plan was simple. I lead with Best Call the Bulbasaur, League Seed the PJ, hoping he would be able to stall and weaken his biggest threat. Then I would wipe him with whatever stab tackles. That was indeed a naive plan. You see, I completely overestimated the amount of heal I would get from my League Seed and underestimated the amount of damage this devil would cause. At this point, I don't know why, but I haven't realized his PG also had Step on his Gust, and that Sand attack in this gen also had the side effect of causing astigmatism. I guess I thought since Gust wasn't a flying type move in this gen, Sar would be fine, but once I compared my HP to his, I knew he was screwed. Fortunately, I had the right to use one healing item and save us from losing the battle, but not without paying the price. I just want you dead. I think we can switch to Best Call here. Oh no! No! Dude! It's Best Call! He's the whole reason I picked him! After Best Call died, whatever finished his PG, and beating Charmander was easier than kicking a baby seal. The battle was won, but now I had another issue. Despite my genial phrasing, I really meant what I said. Bulbasaur would give me free passage on Brock's and Misty's gym. That is why he was the whole reason I chose him. Now my perfect early game is gone. So after we won, I just told Gary to bounce, eliminated the evidences of my mistakes, and continued my journey to Viridian Forest. Before we reached there though, we were attacked by the very cause of my disgrace, teaching me that mistakes from the past always find their way into you. That thing tried to kill another member of my family, but I catch him before he could do it. I call him murderer for him to never forget the sins of his kind. Stupid bird. Have I told you that I hate birds? Yeah, I do. I do hate them quite a bit. Pencil is cool though. But we reached Viridian Forest and all that was in my head at this point was, please God, don't let me be lucky now. Cause there is a low % chance that a Pikachu will come out of this grass, and if that happens, I am really screwed for the next gym. And I don't know if God really listened to my prayers, but if he did, he surely took his time thinking before attending it. I should carry Esther. Yes, I have at least 7. I think this is the right push. Come on. Come on. Caterpie. What the hell? Caterpie? Where are you, buddy? Buddy? Oh, here you are. Yes! Caterpie! I don't know why this encounter took so many steps, but the result was perfect. Caterpie was the only Pokemon at this point that would be useful in the next gym. And that is because at level 10 he evolved to Butterfree, and more importantly, he learns Confusion right after. Now Butterfree isn't by any means a good Pokemon, he falls off really quickly further into the game, but by having Confusion, that's the thing that makes this Pokemon so strong at this point. Confusion is a special move that even with his terrible attack power, it is incredibly useful against Brock's rock types. Rock types have high defense but mediocre to bad special, meaning that even without Stab and Confusion, Butterfree can still do some serious damage to them. So I catch the Caterpie and name him early game, for him to know his only purpose in life. After an unbearable amount of grinding, I got early game to level 12 so he would learn Confusion, and whatever to level 14 so he would learn Hyper Fang. And there I was, ready to break some boulders. I had 2 plans for Brock this time, Plan A and Plan B. Plan A consisted in wiping his ass with Confusion and blow my nose out of his ugly face once we beat him, and Plan B consisted in doing the same thing but with Hyper Fang in case Plan A fails to be executed. It was a perfect strategy. Easy like eating a bucket of chicken wings with pepper sauce. It wasn't even a challenge. The fight I was so worried about before was won by early game, my favorite son. For now. Alright, so the next thing I did was to draw a new high-tech, multi-expressive VTuber model, so I wouldn't have to show my ugly face around. You're welcome. And I actually did something that would help me to keep my sanity for the rest of the run. This is the time that I introduced the rare candies to my run, because I haven't started with them. Like seriously, grinding is for people that have way too much free time on their hands. But aside from that, we had ease to continue our journey. Once I set foot to this route, I came to a realization. I realized Mount Moon without repels is going to suck ass big time, so I thought about buying some repels. That way you wouldn't have to worry about sucking some ass. But guess what? They don't sell those yet. Thanks, Obama. After that, I did what every good trainer do when they got frustrated. I started beating kids on the street and taking their money. It did indeed make me feel really good. But sometime after that, I had to give an explanation to the 2 people that watch my streams. I owe them an explanation because I am from Brazil and I stream in Portuguese. So I had to explain to them why I was speaking in English all of a sudden, and that's what I've come up with. We learned Slash at some point. Why are we speaking in English? I asked Mr. Streamer. It's because I want to post this video on my YouTube channel, and then I'm gonna resume all this nuzlocke to make a new video, okay? To make a new video, and then I'm gonna send to a guy that is named Jan, that has a YouTube channel, and he says, and he say that he is a pro nuzlocker, and he's probably the best nuzlocker in the world, and he loves to react to other nuzlocks. So I'm gonna do that, so he can react to my channel and give me a lot of views and recognition. Love you, Jan. And if you don't watch this video will get pretty awkward. But anyways, let's continue with this shit show. Later in this route, I found a crackhead eating grass on the side of the road. Obviously, I threw a ball at him and called him Pinkman. Soon after, we reached the Poke Center and met a guy that said he would give me a fish if I suck his meat. I mean, can you believe the audacity of some people? But aside from that, it was about time for us to enter the goddamn cave, without a single repel in our pockets. Goddamn you, Game Freak. Right inside, we met Lorenzo, our new pet, and that made me happy, cause I like Golbat, especially his sex offender version from this game. So I was looking forward to having Lorenzo on the team, despite him not being very useful. After I catch him, I wish I could say everything went smoothly inside the cave, but we went for some close call. First, Pinkman got greeted by a Clefairy, and then we faced a tough enemy, Eradicate. This guy is the king of early game. He can tank a lot of hits and have a stab on Hyperfang, which is a really scary move since if it crits, it can one-shot every single Pokemon of my team. But thanks to this game's dumb AI and a successful sync from Pinkman, we managed to get out of this battle without any losses. After that, everything went pretty smoothly. Me and the boys stole a fossil that probably belonged in a museum, but who cares about museums? And it seems like a good time for the channel sponsor, am I right? No, because I don't have any. Let's continue the video. We caught a Sandshrew, called him Weirdo, in honor of one of my favorite songs. A murderer evolved into a serial killer. I teach some moves to the boys, and it's finally time to organize the team. For revenge. Because our rival appeared, and he wanted a little friendly match. But sadly for him, I wanted blood. I wouldn't leave this battle without his starter's head on a stick, so get ready, Gary! He led with his murder and I with Pinkman. My plan was to put this demon to sleep with Sing and then call the boys to beat the shit out of him before he wakes up. And I gotta admit one thing. Sing has a 55% chance to land. I thought Pinkman was going to die 100%, but he actually landed. That's right, against all odds, Pinkman managed to land a Sing after having its accuracy lowered by 1 stage. I was impressed. And even proud, I would say. But I don't call this thing a demon as a joke. Motherfucker managed to wake up literally the turn after he was put to sleep. And guess what? He wasn't happy. This thing killed another one of my friends once again. Man, like, how many more will you take from me until you're satisfied? But we finished him right after, and the rest of the fight wasn't of any difficulty at all. Charmander's head didn't pop off, unfortunately. The battle was over, but we still had one thing to do before we could progress in the game. Here. Okay, thank you, Pinkman. You served us well. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't without you. If it wasn't... Yeah, technically we are here without you, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So with that, you have my salute. And I gotta shoot 3 times to honor our sacrifice. Badum-da! Very nice. Very nice indeed, past me. Well now, time is money, so let's move forward, motherfuck. After that, we continued north. We were challenged to beat a lot of stupid kids on a bridge to get a reward, and the reward was a stupid chicken nugget and harassment. My aggressor almost killed my bird, but we managed to kill their pets first. Our encounter for the route was thankfully a Bellsprout that I named Tuggy. And I say thankfully because he would be such a perfect replacement for Bascal, becoming my secret not so secret weapon against Misty. Suck on that, little pig. Nothing special happened until we reached the gym. We beat some dudes and saved a scientist. So it was time to organize my team for Misty's challenge. And her battle could be tricky. I could use 2 Pokemons for this one. Even with my evolved Tuggy, Starmie was not a Pokemon to underestimate. Starmie in fact is one of the best Pokemons of this gen, not only for its move pool but also for its stats. The thing that got me more relaxed is that this Starmie moves pool was a joke. It only knew damage moves, and the strongest move it had was Bubble Beam, and it has 1 out of 3 chances of using Bubble Beam. We were fine. I decided to lead with early game because I thought he could beat Staryu and inflict status condition on Starmie so I could have an advantage with Tuggy. And that's exactly what happened. My strat worked, yay, God, this game is easy. Yeah, I got to admit that was what I was thinking back then. We managed to overcome the loss of Bascal with just 1 minor casualty, and the toughest fights were not even the ones that I was worried about. Brock and Missy went down smoothly, I would say. Anyways, we still have the rest of the game to beat. As me and my team tried to leave the city, we come across a criminal that stole a very valuable TM for a couple that lived in the house that blocks the only exit of the town. What the... Anyway, we beat the criminal and recovered the couple's TM, and yeah, I don't think they're gonna need that. We continued our way and found a Meowth that was definitely not a dog. Arriving in Vermilion, I knew that the next gym leader was an electric type user, so I went for Diglett's tunnel to get myself one of those juicy, hairy, sexy moles, and the one I found actually survived a crit peck from my Spearow, so I catched it and named it Sturdygal. Sturdygal! I don't know why I named it as a girl, she just looked like a female for me. And I still cannot unsee how this white square looks like a little thief. After that, we went for our encounters in the east routes. It was a Drowsy named Mr. Burns, and what we had ahead of us now was SSN, a ship with a lot of trainer barrels and a fight against our stupid rival. So we needed to prepare, because this time he would also have Eradicate on his team. We didn't have any problem with the trainer fights, so it was finally time to face Gary? Oh, but before you do, let me explain something that happened real quick. This is my team for this battle, and let me introduce you Cosmo. Cosmo is my Gyarados, but if you'd remember correctly, the Magikarp I got from sucking that man that I found lying on the ground in front of Mount Moon was named Glenn. That happened because I changed the rules of the Nuzlocke in the middle of the run. I started considering gift Pokemons as the encounter for the route we're in, and since I had found Pinkman on that route, I couldn't keep it. So I released Glenn and fished Cosmo in Vermilion. That's what happened. So, let's start this freaking battle. Once again, Gary started the fight with the Antichrist, and we decided to start with whatever. And then, the unthinkable happened. We defeated Pidgeotto without losing any member of the team. Oh my god! That's it! We beat Gary. I mean, what else can he do? His Raticate is already dead. Here, look. Oh my god! Gary. Touché. We beat him, grabbed Cut, and it was time for another challenge. Lieutenant Surge, the Lightning American, or something like that. That's the team I went with. I saved Sturdygal for Raichu and the fight was pretty easy. Battle is over, it's time for us to continue our journey. I went to grab Flash in Route 2. We easily went through all the trainers from this route. Like, pretty easy as always. Like, honestly, it was so easy to go through all of the... Ooh. Yeah. That happened. It was no big deal though. Just a little bit sad because I was considering using Lorenzo in my team. Soon after that, my friends reached me and asked if they could come on Discord while they were playing League. And I said, as long as you speak in English, it's cool. And well, I love those fuckers. So I was promised some good English conversations here.
Yes, I'm not good, but I try.
Nobody said good. Just English conversations. Okay, banishing champion. How?
Okay.
You don't show.
That was good.
Why?
How is ban a champion? Is ban the word in English?
Yes.
choose the same a champion.
I need marijuana for conversation. Tava aqui.
I picked Yukong because.
How
because
to say
distracted.
tava aqui? The
It was
fire
here.
never.
It was here.
The fire never was here.
Oh, it's with me. Okay.
Nossa.
Sorry, it's with me.
Okay, one down.
Veio de...
Did you send me the picture you take of me, so I can send Andre and he will
He's
see
going
my.
in this.
Okay. Here you call me monkey, okay?
Okay.
When I'm English,
It's
my
a
English
monkey.
persona is called monkey.
I see. Okay, because we are in the woods, right?
Of course. I'm actually playing on coconut.
Baby.
That's for it's
In English, you are baby now.
Porta.
Okay, your name is baby. Baby.
I don't remember how to say porta.
It's door.
Ah, obrigada.
You don't know how to say door? That's literally the
I
first
don't
word.
remember. My brain is broken.
How to say the book is on the table.
Oh yeah, the table is actually the first word we learned. I switched it.
You could take your time.
Give you Gucci. It's gonna be give you Gucci. So cute.
Monkey too.
What?
I said it's gonna give good.
Ah.
It's monkey English.
Yes.
only other monkeys can understand.
Yes, monkey English, very good, very nice.
Baby.
My nails are so beautiful.
I can't believe you're still doing your nails. I cannot believe it.
My nails are so beautiful.
Fuck.
No.
Know what?
I don't know. Say. Just stop.
They didn't stick much though. After that, no more casualty. Pencil evolved, I catched a Voltorb, obviously named him Enigma, and reached Rock Tunnel. Inside Rock Tunnel, we got ourselves a matchup, named him Daniel, cause I'm old, faced a lot of trainers, and one of those cycles almost a la Huacabare my little Cosmo. For some reason, my voice stopped being recorded for a while, but my reaction was probably something on the lines of... Okay, calamity avoided, he is fine. And thankfully this was the last time one of those psychopaths tried to bomb my cute little... I hate those dudes. We finally left Al-Qaeda's cave and reached Lavender Town, the cradle of the creepypastas. I decided I would go for Celadon's game corner before facing Gary, so I headed west, found a Vulpix, named her Bonnie, reached Celadon, entered the building where I was given an Eevee that I called Vivi. After that, I entered the game corner. There, Eradicate gave me a little bit of work, but nothing was lost in that fight. The problem was, there was a lot of Eradicates in this place, and every fight that involved Eradicate was a fight that I had to switch multiple times because their Hyper Fangs would let our mons at half almost every time. We were dodging crits after crits until I got careless. Daniel-san died because of my lack of attention, and now we're out of fighting moves. And I guess I lost a friend or whatever. I mean, fighting types in this game are useless anyway, so thank God it was him actually. Did you hear that, Daniel? You suck! We beat the rest of them, and now it was time for Giovanni. I prepared my team and was really scared for his Kangaskhan. A normal type with some really good stats for the level we're in. I lit it with Cosmo that handled both his ground types. Then Kangaskhan arrived and I managed to put it to sleep with early game. And then whatever came to finish him off. Another fight that I was scared, handled. Hey guys, Deep from the future here. Just passing by to tell you that I forgot to acknowledge that early game died on this fight. Yeah, I literally forgot that happened, and when I was editing the video, I saw the footage and realized that early game died, so that happened. Hahaha. But anyways, Gary, get ready to get wrecked. This time my rival had a way more varied team, so this fight should prove intense. I organized my team and this time we had Ligma to lead against his team. One well-landed thunderbolt finished him and a tear came out from my eye. Justice was served. After that, his execute put 2 of my mons to sleep, but Murderer managed to finish him off. His Gyarados was next, and I knew how they could be scary, so I decided to land a sand attack before sending Ligma back in order to get some sort of security while switching in. The sand attack didn't pay it off, but Ligma could still finish him by tanking a Dragon Rage. Next up was Kadabra, and my plan was to switch into Bonnie since she had the biggest special besides Ligma, but she still took way too much damage, so I had to switch into Pencil. Thankfully the AI had the same amount of brain cells as me, and then used Teleport, so Pencil easily handled the Kadabra and Charmeleon after that. This was the first time in the game that I really have to worry about switching to get that type advantage, and it was very fun. It was also the first fight he didn't score the kill on one of my mons, so I was pretty happy about it. After the fight I continued to explore the Pokemon Tower, got myself a good old Gasoline, and these guys are incredibly strong against normal type once they learn Nightshade. I named him Licker and kept going up. During my process of continuous exorcism in this tower, Sturdygal evolved into Sturdygals. Soon after that, the stupid ghost of a stupid Marowak appeared and trying to get in front of my stupid quest, beat more criminals, rescued an old man, and was rewarded with a flute. Gee, thanks dude, I loved it. It's definitely better than nothing. Great. Okay, bye. Next challenge was Erika's grass types, but our team was more than ready for her. Before we entered the gym, we complimented the Twitch viewer as always, and then Pencil basically ripped all of this girl's mons. We prepared our team for Erika and it was time for some intense, nerve-wracking and heated oh, no, that actually ended up pretty quickly. Another well-deserved badge. Next up was Cycling Rod, but before, we would get ourselves a good old Snorlax. We would, if I had remembered to buy some balls. Yeah, that sucks. There was no mystery in the Cycling Rod. All of the trainers had either fighting or poison type, so Mr. Burn just crushed them. We found a Dodo there and called him Birders. The problem happened when we left the Cycling Rod. Literally right after we exit the Cycling Rod, there is a spot in the south where we can fight 3 bird trainers. So naturally, I took Ligma out of the ball and said, heal. And well, that happened. Okay, this... if you're really unlucky, this might kill us. Yeah, we are not really unlucky, I guess. I wasn't expecting it to be faster, actually. But I have to switch it now, I guess. I guess we just send Licker. Oh. That bumped me quite a bit, cause Licker has been my greatest weapon against normal type and self-destructs. Losing him because Voltorb couldn't finish a flying type with the Thunderbolt TM I spent on him, well, that got me real mad. So I did the only thing a mature adult like me would do in a situation like that. Ligma, you're dying for that. It's your fault. You're just dying for that. I'm sorry. You have to die for that. You deserve that. I can't believe I lost the only ghost type in the game. I know. I was just projecting my blame towards him. Truth is that Mr. Burns could easily tank 2 or 3 hits from that Fearow, so the only culprit in this situation is myself. But fuck you, Ligma, that's what you get from killing my buddy, okay? Suck on that little bit! After all that, I went to the Pokemon Center to say goodbye and honor the memory of the ones who left our sides on this tragic day. Okay, what can I say about it? Like, we just... screw you. And as for you, Licker, buddy, I actually like you a lot. I will lose you. I'll buy a liquor. Huh. What do we do now? You will be forever remembered, not you, as a dear friend and as a proud warrior who defended the honor of your master. I would like, please, a minute of silence. Just kidding, who has a minute to spare nowadays? Let's get back to the content. I fished myself a polo egg for my encounter in Fuchsia and named him Bubbly. Bubbly. After that, what was left for me was to get a few things from the Sapphire Zone. First, my encounter. Second, the A-Jump Reserve, that is a great water move. And finally, the Old Guard's Golden Teeth, so we can get the A-Jump for strength later. Encounter check, Surf check, and Golden Teeth, yuck. Now I wanted to head east to beat the rest of the trainers and get some Armenian friends. Get some friends. And at this section of the game, we have to go through a lot of routes and battle a lot of trainers, which take quite a bit of time and it's very boring, so I'll resume it the most I can. First encounter was a Dido who received the name of Dildo. Sorry, Dildo. The second encounter was a Venonat. I call him Chip. Third encounter was a Goldine, named her Sassy. As for the trainer battles, we went through a lot of bird trainers and fishers at this route, which made me miss Ligma quite a bit. And after a lot of battles, and by a lot I mean a lot of battles, I was already in the automatic, you know, I was just pressing buttons, thinking, okay, send me the next one, quick, I want to end this before Christmas. So obviously, I got punished. And this punishment was actually the one that I felt the most. Or is it 35? I think whatever died. Whatever. The very first Pokemon we catched was killed by the evolution of the Pokemon that killed the only Pokemon I was being careful to not let die. Like, the fact is, after Bascal died, whatever became my starter, you know? He was my boy. And I wanted to take my boy to the Elite Four and win with him and party with him. But shit happens and it was time to say goodbye to my beloved friend. I don't have much words that I can use to describe how important you were to the team. Especially because I don't speak English very good. Oh, I think that even that sentence was not quite right. But still, you were everything for us. And I love you very much. I wanted to take you to Elite Four, but I guess I can't. Bye, buddy. Alright, finally got rid of that fucking rat. I went to grab the A-Gem for Fly that I forgot, and then to Saffron to face the next challenge, the Dojo. I brought Pencil to fight the Dojo Master and evolved Murderer into his final form, Genocidal, just so I can have him as a backup. But that proved to be really unnecessary because Pencil one-shotted his stupid fighting types and I chose Litmon as my stupid reward for that. And it was already time to go for the next two challenges. My rival and then Giovanni in Sylph Corp building. So I evolved Bunny with a Firestone for a well-deserved stat boost and started to beat some stupid grunts. I didn't run into any troubles against them. Some of them have Electrodes and Weezings that had self-destruct, but I played around it this time and no crit happens, so this time there was no stupid daps. And after a few battles, I decided I didn't want to have any more casualties for my main team, so I decided to bring some more spendable mons to this fight. Except for Mr. Burns, I didn't care about losing any of these guys. So as long as I am careful switching him in, I decided to make the demons kill themselves first, so I led with my murder against his. Mine won, then finishes that thing. He sent Gyarados in for Mr. Burns that not only beated Gyarados but also put his Alakazam to sleep, so then Chip could finish him off with Leak Life. And lastly, Gary sent his Charizard that Bubbly obliterated with Surf. Oh yeah, Chip and Mr. Burns are evolved at this point, I forgot to mention I guess. But it seems like the time where you used to take down one Pokemon per battle from me is long gone, my fellow teenager. After that we received Lapras as our encounter for Silk Corp, who received the name of Dragon Buster, and this guy I really never used again. So I started to prep my team for Giovanni, His team was way less scary than last time now that I had an answer for Kangaskhan. I led with Sturdygout to deal with Nidorino quick, and then Kangaskhan was up. I knew that it was likely for it to start building rage, so I switched Litmon hit in without much fear. He tanked his hit pretty easily and kicked him in the ass. Then the rest of the fight was won by Bubbly. Giovanni bailed off and we got ourselves a nice Master Ball. We didn't have much time to spare though, because the next challenge was right up ahead. I went back to Fuchsia and entered the Poison Gym, that for some reason has a lot of psychic trainers. After beating all of them, my team was ready to face Koga. Those are the guys it took to face him, but honestly I could have just brought Mr. Burns, because he one-shotted every single member of his team. Koga was a joke. The next challenge was Sabrina in Saffron, but I wanted to go to the power plant first to get a new electric type since we were lacking one at the moment, so I entered and... Q Ligma. We found our Magnemite right after that and named her Molly, because I like Deep Rock Galactic. And then we continued to explore the power plant to get some items and fight Zapdos. That was a mistake. So I want to do it. I want to face Zapdos. Zap, zap, zap. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're crazy. Okay, he knows Drill Peck and Thundershock. There's a 50-50% chance, and he'll miss. And if I throw a few sand attacks, fuck. Alright, we lost another one. I hope we don't wipe with this team. Alright, Mr. Burns. Oh, you actually used the rule pack. 80 plus 80 is 160, right? Oh, thank God. Please, just... Alright, alright. This is probably the worst outcome possible. Oh my God, that did nothing! That did nothing! He woke up. This is bad. We are wiping. We are wiping. We are honestly wiping here. We wiped. That's it. Okay, Sassy. Was good to see you, buddy. I hope you'll find happiness in your life. Oh, you live. You'll die now. I'm gonna say it. I mean... I think our best chance is to confuse it. Okay, cool. Come on, Bonnie. Yes! Come on, Bonnie. You can do it, Bonnie. Come on, Bonnie. Yes! Crit! Fuck! Bonnie, you... God damn! Oh my God! Oh my God, let me out of here! Fuck! We lost 3 of our buddies! I can't believe we won that! I can't believe... Jesus Christ, that was scary as fuck. I'll never doing that again. We killed Zapdos, but we lost 3 pets on that damn power plant. I have no joke for that, that shit scared the hell out of me. Almost losing the run and losing Tuggy and Sturdygal was kind of stressful. I know I've been kidding about not caring about those guys for some time now, but I really grew emotionally attached to some of those fuckers. Tuggy helped me in a lot of fights, and Tiao, I just liked Gao, okay? She was a sturdy gal. Now imagine my levels of stress knowing that now I was about to face the strongest gym leader in the whole region. No, not you. Get the hell out of here. I'm talking about Sabrina. Now there isn't anything special about Sabrina Trashy at all. What is scary about her is the type of Pokemon she trains. Psychic types was one of the most, if not the most broken type in Gen 1. That is because back in the day, Psychic types had no weaknesses in the game whatsoever. They were only weak to Bug, and the strongest Bug move out was Twin Needle, only learned by Beedrill. So yeah, they had no weaknesses. Not to mention that not only she uses Psychic types, but she uses Kadabra and Alakazam. Now, if Satan had a son with Mussolini, the result would be Mewtwo, but if Mewtwo had a son with a pair of spoons, the result would be Alakazam. Once Alakazam set his reflag, he basically became a physical tank, and you couldn't beat him with special moves either, because he already tanked those with his natural high special. And if you manage to bring him to low health anyway, he can use recover until he's back to full. All of that with devastating high damage psychic moves. And on top of that, Kadabra did not fall very behind, and she'll still have 2 more months to weaken your team before Alakazam. Sabrina is the most scary gym leader in Gen 1. With that being said, I didn't have a clear strategy for her. I decided to use Mr. Burns as my strongest mon for this fight, hoping that I could answer fire with fire. I also brought Bonnie, hoping to repeat the same strategy that helped me go through Zapdos. Chip, so I could land some status conditions and maybe abuse from the League Life healing. On top of that, I had Murder as a physical attacker that could maybe tank one Psybeam. I teleported her to her room, and then the battle started. I led with Chip against Kadabra. I scored a win with 2 League Lives and surviving a Psybeam that would definitely have killed him with a crit. First biggest threat was down. Next, she sent mine. That started to set up his defenses, but Chip scored a crit with Leak Life and landed a Poison Powder, so he left that battle with more health than he'd started. Then it was time for her Chip, and fun fact about Chips, they are not flying types. Its secondary types are actually poison. Both Chips use Psybeam on each other, but I didn't want to risk Chip any more than that. I also had Bonnie to deal with this Venomoth, so I sent her in, and she fulfilled my expectations. Venomoth was down, and it was time for the final boss. Alakazam was in, and I started to sweat a little bit, but it wasn't time to panic. Alakazam didn't create his Psybeam, so Bonnie was able to land a great Confuse Ray on him, but Bonnie was poisoned for the fight against Venomoth, and in kill range, so I decided to switch into Mr. Burns, hoping the confusion would proc. It did. After that, I went for a Hypnosis that hit, so I switched back into Chip. Maybe not the best move, but Mr. Burns didn't have Headbutt, and I wasn't really confident that he would be able to put enough damage to finish Alakazam on his lead. Chip managed to score some Leak Lives, but Alakazam woke up and used Recover. The fight was back to turn 1. Thanks to the AI, he used Recover again, with 99% health. And this is the time where I criticize the AI of this game one more time. Alakazam used Recover again. Like, why? He was at full health. I can't believe they programmed these gym leaders to just use random moves. Like, I was scared of this fight before, but it's such a mood killer when something like that happens. After that, Mr. Burn lands another Hypnosis, and Murder finished Alakazam with physical moves, but like, this fight left a bitter taste in my mouth. I have won, but it didn't feel like I deserved it. I wasn't about to stop my run after reaching so far though. It was time to head for Cinnabar Island to face the Fire Gym leader. So I used Surf south from Fuchsia to fight the trainers, because that was the rules, and obviously catch a Tentacool because this place is packing with them. I named him Clever. After progressing more into these routes, my next encounter was Goosey. Yes, Goosey the Shelter, because I am very mature. Then I went to Pallet because there were no more trainers out from there, and we found a Tangela named Noodle. We reached Cinnabar then. Entered the mansion. Caught mad at Ponyta. Fought some bandits that were doing the same thing as I. Picked up the gym key, entered the gym, beat some nerds, organized our team, and defeated Blaine with just Cosmo. Pathetic. Now our next goal was Viridian Gym, but we did went to defeat Articuno beforehand. After defeating all of the gym trainers, I got my team set for Giovanni. This time it was Bubbly that handled the wiping on aisle 7. And now it was time for our next challenge, a fight against our rival. This time, a full 6-on-6 battle. So I knew I needed to have my team the most varied in typing as they could be. You've already been seeing Chip, Bonnie, and Mr. Burns for some time now, and I decided to include Molly the Magneton and Bubbly the Poliwrath on that fight. Also, Pencil was there. I led with Molly so she could destroy his Murder. Next up, Bubbly finished his High Horn, Pencil his Execute, but Gyarados was next and that guy gave me a little bit of trouble. I thought about switching into Molly right away, but I decided to give Pencil a shot. Once I realized he wouldn't be able to keep it up, I switched into Bubbly, since he might take well a water move, but he was received with a crit. So I decided, well, screw up, let's send Molly, this thing is only using biting anyways, which he did, but he critted. Again. So Molly was in a tough spot right now, and she wasn't in a tough spot because she was at low health, she was in a tough spot because she had me as a trainer. You see, in my head, what was going on was something in the lines of electric type equals fast, and Gyarados plus 4-time weak to electric move equals death. So imagine my surprise when this happened. Thankfully, Hydro Pump had bad accuracy and we didn't lose Molly, because I really needed an electric type for the Elite Four. Next up was Alakazam, aka the Unholy, and he wasn't having it. Switched into Mr. Burns to land some sleeps again, and then to Chip to leech him. Every time I think about using a bug type move, I realize it was a mistake. He woke up already? Oh, that did nothing. That did nothing. Oh, it's because he has Reflect up. He hit! He's dead. Chip is dead. I'm sorry, Chip. You were a good pal, but... You survived that, Chip! That thing has the biggest special in the whole game! What the fuck? That's right, Chip. Giga chatted a full super effective Alakazam Psychic. And I got to admit, this was when Chip gained my heart. So I switched Chim out because I didn't want him to die anymore, and then the rest of the team managed to score the victory. Gary and I said goodbye for now, but I know he'll be waiting for me at Mountaintop. I went back to the Pokemon Center and exchanged Molly for Vivi and had Vivi to use a Thunderstone. During that fight against Gary, I realized that Molly was my only answer for Gyarados, and if she was not able to outspeed him, we might have a problem. Luckily, Jolteon was there to suit my needs. So I packed my things and headed to the Victory Road. First thing we did when we reached there was to catch a Geodude, name him Adam. Nothing out of the common happening here. We defeated Moltres and some trainers and left the cave. And now, it was time for our last challenge. So it was also time for my last prep for battle. And around this point, some of you might have been wondering how is going to be my approach related to pairing my team against the Elite Four. Because all of the Elite Four members uses 5 Pokemons, the champion uses 6, and their levels are all different. The answer for the level differences was pretty much what you could expect from it. I have candies, and I will use them to make the level of my party be the same as my next opponents. And for the party members, what I did was to bring 6 Pokemons, but before every fight, I'd choose one of them to not be used in that fight. No pivot, no nothing. I couldn't use that member for that fight, and if all the other 5 died, then that was the end of the run. Alright, so that being said, let me show you who I'm bringing. First we have Vivi, the Jolteon. He has Thunder Shock, Thunder, Pin Missile, and Thunder Wave. We have... oh fuck. We have Mr. Burns, the Hypno. He has Psychic, Hypnosis, Dream Eater, and Flash. It's gonna be our main answer to Alakazam. Here we have Litmon Hit, Mega Kick, Meditate, High Jump Kick, and Focus Energy. We're gonna be good against Bruno and Lorelei, I think, I hope. We have Cosmo, the Gyarados, Surf, Blizzard, Hyper Beam, and Dragon Rage. A great sweeper. We have my personal favorite of this, Chip. Now, Chip has proved his worth, even with his low stats, to this point. So I'm willing to give him a chance to be on this team. I never used a Venomoth in my life. He has Psychic, Sleep Power, Mega Drain, and Leak Life. And lastly, oh, I almost forgot to evolve Goosey! Jesus Christ, it has Ice Beam, Reflex, Surf, and Supersonic. Alright, thank God. I wanted at least 2 answers for each Elite Four member, and obviously a balanced team for Gary. Johto and Hitmonlee was going to be used against Lorelei, Mr. Burns Chip against Bruno and Agatha, and Gyarados and Cloyster with Ice moves against Lance. That was basically what I was looking for. So, prep was over, I was confident, and it was about time to start my final challenge, so I entered the Elite 4 chambers. I chose Goosey to be the one left out for this one, and the battle started with Vivi against Dugong. And since Thunder is a broken move whenever it hits a water type, Dugong, Cloyster, and her Slowpoke went down in an instant. 3 down, 2 left. Lorelei sent a Jinx, but I had Pin Missile and I was confident that she couldn't one-shot us. But Vivi missed and we were received with a crit body slam. So this time I Thunder Waved it to get an advantage and switched it into Lit, cause I knew Jinx didn't have any psychic moves. But soon after I realized that I shouldn't have brought a fighting type to the Elite 4. Litmon took an Ice Punch like a glass window takes a baseball ball. He was destroyed right away, so I had to switch this piece of garbage out. My beloved friend Chip was in and he took the Ice Punch way better than Lit. After that, Chip finished Jinx with a few leaked lives, and now it was time for her Lapras, and I know this thing could be kind of obnoxious. Knowing Chip was faster, I risked a good old sleep powder that landed, so I had time to switch into Vivi, that at this point was paralyzed by that body slam he took before, meaning that there was a good chance that things end up escalating to the bad side. But Vivi giga-chatted the paralysis, the accuracy check, and landed a crit on the Lapras, so thanks to him and Chip, that battle was won. Did you hear me, little shit? Alright, Bruno was next, and I decided to leave Vivi out for this one. The fight started with Chip against Onyx. Chip had Mega Drain, so that was an easy one shot, and then he sent his Hitmonchan. Oh, look at him. He wants to win using a fighting type. Ha! Hey yo boys, look! He wants to win using a fighting type! Been there, buddy. Chip also had Psychic, so he one-shotted Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and the next Onyx, and then killed his Machamp with 2 Psychics, that of course used Leer on us because it's retarded. So there was Chip, once again being of key importance for the win. Next up was Agatha, which can be scary if you don't have Psychic moves to deal with their poison types. Obviously, I let Litmon hit out of this one and started the fight. Mr. Burns went against Gengar and once again, AI happened and her Gengar used Dream Eater despite outspeeding my Hypno. Agatha's strategies relies on using status conditions to score the win, so seeing this bot using Dream Eater right away made me real mad. Mr. Burns landed a Psychic on it, but it wasn't able to score the kill, and apparently her Gengar finally remembered that he could put us to sleep, but fortunately Mr. Burns wakes up right away. Since I knew I wasn't faster than it, I switched Burns out for Cosmo, and this Gengar was about to start to becoming a pain in my ass. First, he put Cosmo to sleep and then Goosey. But since I was confident in Goosey's defense, I tried to keep it up a little bit. Bad choice, by the way. Goosey was in crit range, so I switched him out for Vivi, that missed his ping missile again. And on top of that, became confused. So I knew it was time for her secret weapon. Chip. Chip was in, and he was mad like a horny dog that just got kicked in the nuts. Chip tanked a Nightshade and outsped Gengar with a Psychic, so that was 1 down. Next up was Golbat, so I switched back into Mr. Burns, who proceeded to sweep her Golbat, her Arbok, and her Haunter. And then it was time for her second Gengar. I thought about switching to Chip right away, but I decided to let Mr. Burns tank the Hypnosis so that maybe her Gengar would use Dream Eater on Chip, and then Chip could... Wait, what? Bro, I can't believe Agatha had Gengar to use Dream Eater without putting us to sleep once again. After that fluke, Mr. Burns landed a crit Psychic on a Gengar, making him become a ghost for the second time in his life. Agatha was down and the next was Lance. Lance was rough, but we had Ice Cubes, so I was confident. He started with Gyarados though, so my Eevee was in the front. And since I was feeling so confident, I wanted to limit test the power of my Thunder Shocks. Cause yes, I had to take Thunder Shock with Eevee. Because the TM for Thunderbolt was used on stupid Ligma. So we used Thunder Shock and discovered, yeah, Vivi tanked a Nitro Pump and landed a not Thunder Shock, so we were fine. Lance sent one of his snakes next, so I sent mine. Once again, I decided to go for a little experiment, wondering if Dragon Rage would do 80 damage since it was super effective. But I realized that I didn't know how much health this Dragonair had, so I had no idea if it lost 40 or 80 health, so whatever. Then I decided to stop fooling around and use Hyper Beam. And Hyper Beam has a stupid glitch where it won't need to recharge if the opposing Pokemon faints from it. So Cosmo killed this Dragonair and this other Dragonair and then surfed on his Aerodactyl. So then the boss was next on the field and he also had Hyper Beam. I switched into Mr. Burns because I thought he was sturdy enough to take an Hyper Beam as long as it doesn't crit. But thankfully he used Slam because that bitch critted. Thank God we didn't lose Birth. I switched into Litmon, but honestly I have no idea what I was thinking back then. I knew he wouldn't take an Hyper Beam, and maybe not even a Slam, not to mention that he didn't have any good move to be used against Dragonite. So my guess is that I was trying to kill another one of my mons. But once I reclaimed my senses, I sent Goosey in and used Ice Beam. I swear to God, this Dragonite didn't use Hyper Beam a single time during this whole fight. What a joke. But hey, there it was. About to face my rival one last time and claim the title of champion. I haven't lost a single member of my team yet. I could already feel the taste of my first nuzlocke win, and you know what? It tasted like champagne. This time, the whole crew was in and I was ready. I decided to lead with Mr. Burns instead of Vivi because I knew he could tank Pidgeot quite well and that he could heal back to full with Dream Eater, because I was not sure if Vivi outsped the Pidgeot and I didn't want to risk any damage on Vivi at this point. But Mr. Burns did what I said and was 1 down, 5 to go. Gary sent his Alakazam next, and that's the matchup I was looking for. Hypnosis again to make him sleep, and it landed. Then I switched into Cosmo, hoping Hyper Beam would finish him off, but he woke up on the sweep. I decided to go for Dragon Rage instead, because I thought he might use Barrier again, and that's what happened. Alakazam at this point had 2 defense boosts, and just used Recover. Why, God? Why? I decided to test how well he could tank a Surf, and to my surprise, he took a good chunk. And imagine my surprise again when Alakazam used Psy Beam and took this damage from my Cosmo. After this, I spent Surf until he couldn't out-heal our damage and the battle was won. 2 down, 4 to go. Gary decided it was about a good time for his Ryan to die, so I fulfilled his death wish. It was 3 down now. Exeggutor was next, and this thing is also a scary dude. So far, the only Pokemon on Gary's team that was not a top tier Pokemon was Pidgeot, and me being with my whole team alive still could only mean that he was using them wrong. Since Chip had a 4 times effective move against this Palm Tree, I decided to give it a go. Chip was in and Execute missed a Hypnosis, giving us time to put him to sleep instead, so Chip easily reduced his life down with Leak Light. But at this point I was planning ahead and wanted to bring Jolteon so I wouldn't have to switch on him when Gyarados was on the field. Exeggutor was still asleep when I did that, but when Vivi got in, he woke up, so I know I had to take a serious conversation with him. All you have to do is hit 3 ping missiles probably. You know you can do that, I trust you, and you are my partner. So I'm gonna press this button and you're gonna kill this Exeggutor, right? Fuck you everywhere. Vivi finally landed a damn pin missile and it was ready to ravage his Gyarados ass. But to be honest with you, I was so scared of Thunder missing that I used Thunder Shock again. And yeah, this was too close for comfort, but next turn Vivi finished him off with another Thunder Shock. 5 down, and the last to go was Charizard. This time I decided to press Thunder and then the battle was over. Yes, that's it. I did it. I beat my first Nuzlocke. I can't even believe it, I really did it. Oh my god, I'm so busted. Wait a minute. I beat the game, but where's the champagne? I don't understand. Why is the title of this video how I lost my very first Nuzlocke? If I just beat it in front of everyone, what's happening? Well, my curious viewer, that happened because of the set of rules that I used for this run. Guess which of these was the cause of my disgrace and made everything I worked on be completely nullified? It was this one. Yeah, this little bitch one right here. I set this rule as a way to force myself to overcome every single trainer of the game, as a way of having to go over all of the opportunities I have to lose one of my mons. And I thought I had did it, like I thought I had beaten them all, but there was one trainer that I completely forgot that existed. So I'll give you some time to figure out which trainer was that. I'll give you 5 seconds to pause this video and think. Well, it was this. This stupid little girl was the reason I lost the whole run, because she is located in such a stupid spot that I simply forgot she was there. We passed by the place she's in right before we reached Cerulean, but we can't really access that place until we beat Koga and unlock Surf to be used outside of battle. And this place she's in is right next to Cerulean Cave, a cave that you unlock only after beating the Elite Four, so I haven't even thought about going there. This bitch knew where she was hiding. She did it on purpose, and you know what the worst part is? I didn't even get to have my revenge, because I lost the save file from this run when I rebooted my PC. It's how I lost my very first Nuzlocke on Pokemon Red and Blue. But yeah, aside from that, I enjoyed it pretty good. There were some big moments of tension during this run that was really fun for me after it was over. Even with the AI massively taking this easier, for me I still had a great time. This challenge made me use Pokemons I'd never used in my entire life, and I had a lot of fun thinking about how I would overcome the next challenge. So if you like Pokemon games, I highly suggest you to challenge yourself into doing a nuzlocke. I don't think you'll regret it at all. I want to thank you all if you've come this far. This is the first video like that I've made, so I hope you could enjoy it at least a little bit. I want to invite you to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you feel like it, and to tell you that the focus of the channel is not Pokemon, but I have been writing a big script for a Pokemon Red and Blue review that I intend to launch still in this year. But aside from that, I usually just play any game around here. Most of the games I play are very nostalgic if you are about 25 years old, but I don't specifically just play old games. I do because I like playing them in the order of release, especially in the channel where it's all recorded. I like the sense of progression, you know? So I guess that's it. Thank you all for watching, and maybe I'll do another Nuzlocke in the future. Who knows? For now, bye bye.